Guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Karimash, and if you're new here, be sure to subscribe. And guys, I know today I look like a kalasinga, a beautiful kalasinga to be precise. It's because my hair is in the process of being unplaited, and as you can see, all these parts are just uneven. And my women, you know how beneath this what is this called? Beneath this headband, yes, where if we are to remove this thing, people are going to run away. So yeah, today I'm your beautiful color singer, and I know some of you are wondering who is a color singer. My friend, Google. So anyway, today's episode I'm going to be discussing about just finishing up on the part 2 and also discussing about the various tips when you move into a new country, tips to adjusting to a new country and what you can do to just smoothen your way all through. So without further ado, as usual, let's get started.
To me, I'll be good. Promise me you'll be good to me.
So, how I celebrated my birthday here in Cuba, and it was such an amazing and a unique experience because I remember my roommates and I had planned to just go to a restaurant and just go eat together and just enjoy and have fun. But my countrymate had other plans in mind and he did not tell me. So, the previous day, he had called the deputy ambassador and had informed him that my birthday was the following day. So they had agreed with the deputy ambassador that we were to go there the following day, and if we wanted, we would bring friends. So on the day of my birthday, my countrymate is like, hey, by the way, shower up, we are going to the deputy ambassador's house. And let me tell you guys, when you're told you're going to a diplomat's house, that's just having fun and enjoying and just a great time. So we went to the deputy ambassador's house and we ate. He left the house for us actually, so he told us, just cook whatever you want, whatever you think you can find in that refrigerator, cook it. This is your father's house, feel free. So we ate, guys. We cooked actually ugali, skuma and chicken, and let me tell you guys, eating ugali and skuma, hey, my people, never take for granted the foods you eat in your homes, because by the way, we had really missed ugali and skuma, just ugali and skuma, because here we only eat rice, 24/7, rice and pasta. So we cooked and then we enjoyed, we ate, we drank, and then later on he came back with cake. So we distributed the cake, we cut it, we sang happy birthday, and it was just nice, and I was just 18. No, I was actually turning 19 then. Yes, I was turning 19. So I felt really nice. It was just like a father figure and siblings figure and then myself, and it reminded me of home a lot. At that point, I really missed my home, but I was grateful to God because here I was surrounded with people who really mattered and who were significant and sort of playing that role of father figure and brother and sister. So it was really a great time. So after that, we went now to Havana, myself and my Sri Lankan friend, because we were roommates, and then my countrymate went back to school. So we went and we met the rest of my roommates at the restaurant in El Biki, and we just had a great time, like just chilling and talking and eating. Yeah, and the food was pretty expensive, by the way. Ooh, it was pretty expensive by then. It was pretty expensive. So we just ate what we could, just a little we could, but they had great food, by the way. For my people who are in Cuba right now, you should try that restaurant. I've never been there ever since 2019, but I'm hoping it's still the same. So yeah, it was just great, and we went back home, and that was it. That was just how I celebrated my birthday. As we progressed now with school, exams were nearby and we finally did our examinations. Of course, we were newbies and we were so tense because the exams are in Spanish, and it's now like complex Spanish, Spanish part B. We had maths, we had biology, we had physics. And the way you just have to read and read and read. My friend, let me tell you, people used to read and stay like the whole night studying. I'm just like, what? How do you do that? Because never. When I was back in my country, I was never, like, I had never stayed up the whole night to study for an examination. It was, if I know, I know. If I don't know, I don't know. That's it. And if I'm tired, that's my limit. I'm not going to push myself further. Like, there is the pushing yourself to a certain extent, and then there is the pushing yourself extreme until you're just worn out. So people studied and revised, and they were ready to get all the fives. The reason I'm saying fives is because here the grading system is 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 2 is a fail, 3 is an average, 4 is good, 5 is an excellent. And of course, when you're starting out, you all want to be excellent. I mean, nobody just wants to be average or actually fail the examinations. So we studied and we all passed, thank God. We all passed excellently, to be precise. And guys, let me tell you, then came the sad part. The sad part was that finally, after we are done with school, that was like in June, and we closed school. Let me tell you guys, we used to keep our suitcases in a certain room we used to call Cuarto de Valor. That is a room where we used to go and put all our suitcases that you're not using. You just maintain the things that you're using and you put them in the lockers. But if you're about to travel, you go back to that room and you get your suitcases. So guys, as soon as we were done with exams, let me tell you, everyone on my floor went to that room to pick their suitcases because they were going to travel. And let me tell you, there is no bad feeling like that, because you know that you're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. So the whole corridor of the floor is just filled with suitcases left, right, and center. Suitcases of people left, right, and center, because now people are packing and they're going for vacations. Oh my God. And you're not going anywhere. Let me first tell you. Let me just take you guys back a little bit. When we started in January, when January of 2019 began, I started talking to my parents like, yo, guys, I want to come back home. I want to relax. I don't have a lot of things. Please, I need to buy stuff. And I started sweet talking them. And my parents are like, yeah, you're going to come. You're going to come. So I knew I was going to go home. Then February again, the same thing, just reminding them, mom, we should book the ticket. March, the same thing. Hey dad, what's up? Your girl is doing great in school, so could you reward her by just paying the ticket? Guys, we got to April and my parents are like, no, there is no way you can go to Cuba for like just a few months and you want to come back home. So for just these vacations, just stay in school. The next one, for sure, the next one in 2020, you're going to come, and we are going to make sure, we are going to book your ticket even in January 2020. We are going to book your ticket and you come home. And fast forward, we all know what happened in 2020, don't we? COVID-19. So cancel that. So by the time we're getting to April, I knew I was not going anywhere. My parents were like, nope, girl, stay there, enjoy the Caribbean lifestyle. Enjoy the Cuban life, walk around, whatever. And to be honest, you just have to accept the situation, because what else can you do? You don't have the money yourself to pay. And that's how I survived, guys. So when I was seeing people with their suitcases, yeah, you're happy for them, because you're happy they're your roommates. And this is one thing that I always say, always clap for others until it gets to your turn. So I was so happy for them, but I was also like, oh my God, guys, I wish I can also go home. And I remember my roommates were like, Karimash, you know what, we honestly wish you could go home, but don't worry, everything is going to be fine, everything is going, they try to encourage you. And I was like, all right, fine, because in the room it was only myself and my bedmate who were remaining. The rest of the people were, adios, muchachos, going home. So on the day of going home now, I remember, of course, our roommates, the Grenadians, they all booked, I think, the same plane, yeah. So I remember we were pushing them down the stairs and we helped them with their suitcases up to the gate. And but between the time we were done with the examinations to the time that, like, in less than a week, remember I had told you guys that the corridors were full of people with suitcases. In less than, I think, 4 days, like as soon as the results came out like this, the corridor was empty. The floor was empty. You could go to any room and sleep on one bed tonight, and then the following day another room, and then the other day another room, like that, because everyone is gone. And most of the people from my floor were Caribbeans, and the islands of the Caribbean are just close to Cuba. They're just here. So within 40 minutes, people are in their houses. Within 1 hour, within that's how short it is. We Africans, we have to travel for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. So it was really like one moment we were all together, and then the next moment it was just like boom, there is no one there, because in the room I was the only one left. So those vacations, by the way, I think even in the whole school we were just Africans, majorly Africans, who could not be able to go home, because of course there are some Africans who are able to go home. So the routine was basically just the same. I actually used to sleep during the day. The whole day I sleep during the day. Then I get up in the night, I go and shower, then I go to the dining hall, I eat, I stay the whole night watching movies, and then in the morning I go for breakfast, I shower, and I sleep. That was my schedule. So I reversed my day into night and my night into day. And also my bedmate from Congo decided to go and visit another province. By then I didn't have that luxury to go and visit another province, by the way. So I was just alone. There was a time it was just the two of us, myself and a girl from, I think it was from Zambia. No, Zimbabwe. Yeah, so myself and the girl from Zimbabwe, we were the only ones who were on the floor. Let me tell you guys, it was lonely. Oh, and one from Djibouti, yes, and one from Djibouti. So we're only 3 people on a floor which used to have, I don't know how many people, but we used to be so many. We used to be so many people until now we stopped. Like everyone started going for vacations. So yeah, it was such a tough time, because I was really looking forward to going home, and I was a bit homesick, so yeah, but then it's okay. I made it through, guys. I made it through. But then the next time I was going home was after 3 years. Aki, my parents. Aki, I love them. Lakini, hey. They have taught me resilience. But they have taught me resilience. But the Bible says that God cannot put you in situations that you cannot handle. So yeah, they knew. They knew that I was going to make it through. I'm their strong girl. Yay! Anyway, so yeah, that was basically it, how I survived during vacations, and the next academic year basically began. So that's another topic for another day. I'm going to be sharing some tips on surviving in a new environment, especially in a new country, and it's going to cut across all demographics. Be it you've gone there for work, you've gone there for studies, you've gone there for, yeah, I think those are or vacations. Yeah, even vacations, it could apply. So I'm a person who loves writing, and I believe in still old writing things. So I'm going to be reading the points as I go. And the first point that I'm going to say is, make sure you learn the language when you're there. For our sake, it's obligatory for us to learn the language, because in medicine, the medicine here, you're taught in Spanish. So you have no other alternative other than learning the language. So make sure you learn the language, be it Spanish, be it English, if you're moving to Kenya, be it Swahili. At least learn some 1, 2, 3. Don't be too rigid on sticking to your own language, because that way you cannot be able to talk to anyone, converse with anyone, and people generally just get bored if you're not understanding their language. And also, just to avoid people talking about you and you not understanding what they're saying, sometimes it's just good also for self-protection, like, yo, I can understand what you're saying, right? Because for us, when we started understanding Spanish, little by little, some Cubans would just say things about us, and maybe how we look, how we whatever. And I know this happens everywhere, and we'd always just turn to them and be like, ustedes saben que nosotros entendemos español, no? Like, you people, that we understand. And they'd be like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. So yeah, just learn the language. It facilitates the interaction that you have with people. It facilitates a whole lot of things, and it also enables you to avoid being conned by people, because people take advantage of others when they don't know their language. If the price of something is like $1, this person, once they find out that you cannot be able to speak their language, they hike the prices to about $10, $100. Like, people are evil. So just learn the language. It facilitates and makes everything better. The second thing is just stay open and positive. Just stay open and positive, guys. Like, you come to a new country, like for my sake, for example, and you find that there are so many, there's like, you just have culture shock, because how can people act like this? How can you dress like this? How can you, like, who are you? How can you talk like this? Because you come here and you meet people from all over the world. In my case, you meet people from other countries, from Africa, from America, from Latin America. You meet people from the Caribbean, and you're just like, what? How do you dress like this? How do you look like this? How are you like this? How, you know? But stay open and positive. I know it's hard. I know it's hard, because if you've been in your country for, let's say, 20 years, 18 years, 23 years, already there is culture which has been infused in you. You know, there is religion which has also affected your way of thinking. Everything around you has basically been influenced by culture and religion in one way or the other, of the country that you come from. So when you come here and you see, or you go to a new country rather, and you see how people are behaving, how people are acting, like, just try as much as you can not to be judgmental. Just stay open about everything, and realize, always have that mental reminder that, you know what, I am in a new country. These people are not my country mates. These people are not from my country. We have different cultures. We have different backgrounds. We have different everything. So just stay open and be ready to learn. Be open and ready to just learn as much as you can. Of course, one thing that I say is always sieve the values, or sieve things. Don't just take things as they are. If these people, you find that one of their values is, let's say, I don't know, like, just sieve the values that you find. Take the virtues and leave the vices. That's what I say. Or take whatever you feel is working for you, and leave the things that you know are not working for you. If, let's say, you come here to Cuba and you find that people are dressing up in extremely short things, and yeah, guys, by the heat here is extreme, like I've stated in all my previous videos. And then you find out that, you know what, I cannot be able to dress in these extremely short things because I feel a bit I'm not at peace in my spirit. Then don't dress up like that. You don't have to. But then whenever you see people are dressed up in such a way, you know, don't be like, oh my gosh, oh, why are they dressed up like this? I don't know what. You know, you start judging people. No, just stay open and just stay positive. Try to soak in as much as you can. Take the virtues and leave the vices. That's one thing that I can say for sure. So the next thing is about embracing the culture. So depending on the country that you've gone to, just try to eat their cuisines. Try to explore. You know, don't be close-minded. Eat all their cuisines. If you can go to community activities, be sure to participate in them. Local events. The other thing that I found out about here in Cuba is that they love, you know, their first president, who is El Comandante Jefe Fidel. I was about to say Miguel. Hey, I would have embarrassed myself in these streets. Fidel Castro Ruz. So everything to them is El Comandante Jefe Fidel. Everything El Comandante Jefe Fidel Castro. Everything El Comandante Fidel. Everything is Viva Fidel, Viva Fidel, Viva Fidel. And at first, honestly, it used to be very, very inconveniencing for me and just uncomfortable. Like, why is everything to this guy? Why are we saying everything about this guy? Everything is just, oh, El Comandante said this, El Comandante said this, El Comandante said this. When they're giving speeches, they quote El Comandante, El Comandante. But then I realized that's their culture. So I kinda just had to incorporate myself into it, and just also nowadays I'm just like, okay, Viva Fidel, because that's it. And at the end of it all, my 7 years is almost up. I'm going to leave this country, and I'm never going to be forced, not to be forced rather, but I'm never going to be saying Viva Fidel again. I'll go to Kenya and I'll be like, Viva Jomo Kenyatta. You get what I'm saying? So that's the thing. Just embrace their culture. And also another thing I found out is they respect their historical leaders so much. Like, all these leaders of theirs, they're a big deal. The likes of Che Guevara, Camilo Cienfuegos, Fidel Castro Ruz, among others. So just learn about their culture, find out the things that they love, and just love it together with them. Of course, I'm saying again, just filter whatever you can take in. If you feel like you can't take that in, you don't have to. But just embrace their culture. Just immerse yourself in it. And I'm going to give you guys a story. I think it was 2021. My friends and I went to visit a province called Santa Clara. And in Santa Clara, they really love this guy called Che Guevara. They really love him. So there are statues of him everywhere there. Everything about him is literally everywhere. I remember we went to this statue and on this statue, they had flowers put at the feet of Che Guevara. And we were going to take pictures there with my friends. And I remember I was like, why are there dead flowers at the feet of this guy? So I kicked the flowers, unfortunately. I kicked them because I was like, why are there dead flowers here? So I just kicked so that, I didn't want it to appear on my photos, until one of the guards who was there came to take a picture of us, and then he was like, no, 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 you don't kick these flowers. This is like how do I say, it's like paying respect to Che Guevara. And let me tell you guys, I was like, oh my gosh, I was a bit embarrassed, because I was like, this is where if the wrong guards had found me there, by the way, maybe I would be in prison. God forbid, I'm just joking. So but that's it. Like, when you go there to a new country, just embrace their culture, learn their history, find out the things that they love or the things that they don't love, and just go along with the flow. Just go along with the flow. Yeah. Another thing is for you to just build a support system. And how do you build a support system? By joining religious communities. If you're a Christian, find a church. Find a great church, to be precise. Find a community of believers. If you're a Muslim, the same thing. You can also you see, there are always Facebooks or these social community groups. Like, maybe in Facebook you'll find Kenyans in Cuba. Just join those groups and then just get to learn 1 or 2, 3 things about them. Just build your community. If you find other immigrants also, like in my case, you see, we are all students who are foreigners, so it will be easier for me to just stick to my Kenyan countrymate and be like, you know what, I don't want to talk to these other people. But then it's very important for you to interact with other people from the Caribbean, people from Latin America, people from North America, so people from Asia, for you to actually just learn, like, what does it entail being in your country? How is it for you being here? All of you, when you're just together, it's better than you deciding to be alone. You deciding, you know what, I'm just going to keep to myself, and find a community. And that's how you build friends. That's how you get to interact with as many people as possible. And that also enables you to be more open-minded and more positive, because when you have friends who can help you through situations, because being in a new country is not easy at all. It's not easy at all. Sometimes it can be very, very, very overwhelming. And once it becomes overwhelming and you don't have people to lean onto, because even the Bible says 2 are better than 1. So if you're just alone there, that homesickness and all that overwhelming face is just going to come crashing down. But if you've got people, if you've got friends who are also going through the same thing, you'll be there encouraging each other. You know what, we are almost done. You know what, we are here together. You know what, I also miss my child, but we are going to make it through. So find yourself a community of people. Don't be a lone wolf. Let me just say that. Don't be a lone wolf. Find yourself a community, build around it, be an active participant of your community, by the way. Don't just join a community and then your work is just, in Swahili or in Kikuyu, it's like kungedhia. No, be an active participant of your community. If it's like your embassy, for example, go and get to know your embassy, know your ambassador, your deputy ambassador. That is, if your embassy is a great embassy like mine. So yeah, get to know them, get to interact with them. Whenever they have parties or they have events, always show up, always turn up. Just turn up, because one day when you're going to be in a problem or something of the sort and you're going to need help, it's these same people that you've been turning up for the events who are going to help you. So just do that. It's a great thing, by the way. You can't survive alone in a new country. You need people, and you also need solid people. You don't just need people who are wavering from left and right. No, you need solid people. So yeah. So the other thing is managing your finances wisely. And I am going to be very specific on this one, because as you all know my story, I came here with little money. And when I came here with around my $60, guys, and then you come and you find people are earning, or people are getting stipends worth 120 something, all the way to $1,000, between 100 and something to $1,000. It's very easy for you to want to fit into the group of people who are earning this stipend, whereas you're having your $60 or $40, or sometimes even you don't even have the money. So it's important for you to manage your finances wisely. It is very, very, very important. Otherwise, the peer pressure is going to kill you. And I've said that, yes, the peer pressure, it's going to finish you. Because you see these people have bought this and that and that, and you really admire that. So the first thing maybe you may do is, you know what, can I borrow some money to do this and this? And then you end up in a lot of debt for no reason at all. Or you end up pressurizing your parents, who, you know, depending on the background that you've come from, you end up pressurizing your parents, and then they are back at home in anguish and just wondering, where am I going to get this money? Because you keep pressuring them, you know, I want this, I want this, I want that, I want this money, so that you can be able to afford the lifestyle of people who are earning $1,000. My friend, hey, that's a curse you want on yourself. Don't do that. Don't do that, my guys. Just manage your finances wisely. I know it sucks. I know, I've been there. You feel so bad when people are having more money than you, and you also want some little luxury here and there. But then, what is the way forward? Just stick to your money, find a balance sheet or whatever, find a business accountant, or find someone who can just help you balance your money. But you need to always talk yourself out of situations where you're going to be forced to be in debt. Or if honestly, if your friends know that you're earning this type of money, let's say if your friends know you're earning 60 and they're earning 120, they should be the type of friends who will tell you, you know what, we are not going to have you hang out maybe around with us, because we don't want to put you in a situation which is inconveniencing. And you, as the person with the little money, you should be the person who is open and wise enough to realize, you know what, yes, that's true, I cannot be able to go out with you guys for this and this reason. I cannot be able to hang out with you guys all the time, partying all the time, or going to restaurants all the time, because I cannot be able to afford the lifestyle that you guys have. So both parties have to really understand themselves. But the most important thing is for you, as the person who does not have excess money, quote unquote, or who does not have the more money, to just stand firm on your ground and be like, this is the amount of money I'm earning, this is the lifestyle I can support, and that's it. You cannot be going out all the time and people are paying your bills. That's a no. You cannot be going out all the time and you're on debt. No. You cannot be dressing nice and looking great and yet be when you go back home, people are texting you, hey, where's my $100? Hey, you took my $50. Hey, I don't know what, you borrowed this. No, no, no. Just manage your finances wisely. Just manage your finances wisely, and just be open. Just be open to saying no whenever you know for real you can't make it. If someone is kind enough, maybe they'll be willing to pay once, twice, thrice, depending on their kindness. But like I said again, being on the receiving end all the time, you somehow begin to be someone's slave unknowingly, and that's not really a good thing. So yeah, manage your finances wisely. People out here have money. People out here have money. Unending, overflowing, in abundance, have money. So learn your limits, know what you can do, plan yourself well, and that's it. Try to avoid debt as much as possible. Don't borrow to please anyone. Just live within your means. Cut your coat according to your cloth. That's it. The other point is stay in touch with your roots. Let me tell you guys, it is very easy to come to a new country and all of a sudden you want to just, hey, oh, you want to dress like them, you want to eat like them, you want to be like them, and then you forget where you come from. Don't forget where you come from, guys. Don't forget where you come from. And also, that is in relation to communication. Don't go to the diaspora and then it's like, oh, today I forget, I don't have hair to flip. You know, I'm so used to. Anyhow, don't forget where you come from, and don't go to the diaspora and be like, you know what, now, sasa nimefika, I have arrived, I am the new buga of the area. Then you forget your people, you forget communicating with people back home, you forget your friends back home. After those friends prayed for you to get this scholarship or that work permit or whatever it is that you're doing abroad, and then now you want to forget them. Don't forget your family, guys. Don't forget your family. And one important lesson that I've learned by being abroad is that you learn to value your family more when you're abroad, because you know when you're with them every day, your work is just taking advantage. They're always going to be here. But when you're abroad and you're the only one and you have to make new friends, you miss your mom, you miss your dad. There are times I'd be just like, okay, I wish my mom will just be cooking for me. Not even cooking. I just wish my mom will be making noise for me. Have you washed your face? Have you done this? Have you done, our African mothers. Like sometimes I just sit down and the place is just so quiet. I wish I can just hear my mom's voice just shouting a bit. Just shouting to disrupt the peace. You know how they do it. My Africans, you can relate with your mothers. Sometimes I'm just like, Akikai, why is my mom not here to make some bit of noise? Why have you not washed utensils? Why have you? Yeah. Aye, guys, you never miss the water till the well runs dry. And that's something that, yeah, I can attest to. So don't forget to stay in touch with your roots. Don't forget your people. Don't forget your people, by the way, guys. Always talk to your friends as much as you can. Of course, the distance at some point, it kind of affects, because if you're living in Australia, if you're living in Cuba and Africa, like those are different time zones. So yeah, sometimes you may not be able to communicate frequently, but try as much as you can to always keep in touch with your friends, to always keep in touch with your family, to always pray for your family. Like, just keep your roots. Remember, just stay, yeah, just be in touch with your roots as much as you can. Be informed about the legal requirements in your country. This is basically just to avoid any inconveniences with the people of the law, to just avoid anything that could take you to jail. Because yes, guys, unfortunately there have been some students who have been imprisoned, and it's a sad affair, right? It's a really sad affair, but just try to be on the right side of the law. Just try to know what is acceptable and what's not. Of course, racism also plays a part in all this, but if you can be able to just stay on the cleaner side of the law, irrespective of how hurt you are, just stay on the good side of the law. The prisons here in Cuba, maybe in the countries that some of you will be moving into, they're going to be great. So it's okay if you're jailed there, which I don't advocate, by the way, because guys, wait, prisons, guy. So just find out all the legal requirements of everything, be it your work permit, your student visa, if you're going to buy anything there, like a motorcycle, what are the things which are acceptable. Just avoid running into any problems if you're in a new country. Just avoid. Just be a good. You can go and run into the and be a bad person when you're in your country. It's fine, because at least there you have your people to visit you in prison. If you want to go to prison, it's fine. But hey, in other people's countries, ooh, you see, it's the same way that whenever maybe you were young and you'd go to your uncles or your aunts' places to visit, and the way your mother will always be like, and make sure you've behaved well. I don't want to hear you disturbed. I don't know auntie who or uncle who. I don't want to hear anything. And then you go to these people's houses and you're a very good child. You get up in the morning, you make your bed, you make breakfast. You're just this amazing child. When you go back home to your house, your mother is like, Kai, the way I've heard good things about you when you were over at that side, and now you're here and you can't even make your bed in the morning, that type of thing. That's the example that I can give. So whenever you're at people's places, whenever you're at someone's country, hey, just be a good citizen. Just be a good citizen. I know sometimes it sucks because some people can be very infuriating. Yes, some people can really push you to the wall and you'd feel like, but remember, let that be a mental reminder every day. You're in someone else's country. You can't afford to mess up. Your time there is short and it's limited. So just do what you have to do. Be a good citizen. End of story. So guys, I know it can be overwhelming to be in a new country. I know I've said that and I'll repeat it again. It can be very overwhelming. It can tear you down, or you can be an avoidant type of person and just let it build you up, and yet deep down you're hurting. So whenever you feel that it's becoming overwhelming and you just need a break from all these things, if it's possible, depending on the country that you're in, to go back home, just go home. Just go home or take a break and if push comes to shove and you really can't go home, you really can't do anything, just seek professional help. It's understandable. Moving to a new country is tough, especially as a child. Actually, I don't want to say especially as a child, even for adults, because I could imagine all the parents out there who've had to leave their children to go work in foreign countries. They miss their kids, and sometimes it could take a huge toll on them. So if you feel that, what, I cannot do this anymore, I just want to go home, because homesickness is real, mental breakdowns are real, just seek professional help. Don't be afraid. Just find someone that you can trust in those community groups. Find someone who can refer you either to a therapist or anyone to just help. Just seek professional help. It's very, very, very necessary, because hey, my people, it's not an easy road, by the way. It's not an easy road. Maybe if you've gone for vacations, maybe for those who've gone for vacations, you're just enjoying la vida. But if you're a student, if you've gone there for work or for whatever other reason that you've gone to, seek professional help if necessary. And the last one is enjoy the journey. This journey that you're in, it's like a once in a lifetime opportunity, because it's going to be maybe your first time traveling, your first. And it's a beautiful thing to just go somewhere and you meet new people and you get to experience them. And it's just a lovely, lovely thing. You get to see how other people live. You are born in your village, in your local hospital. You went to the local primary school, local high school, local university. You only know everything local. So when you get a chance to get outside here, why do you still want to just look like a local person? No, it's a great opportunity. It's a huge opportunity for you to open, for your mind to open up. And I'll give you an example. When I came here, there was a time that as in our room, we were having a discussion, and everyone was mentioning what they aspire to be or what are their goals in life. By the way, guys, my goals were to become a great doctor, get married, have a great family, and that's it. Of course, there were other things, like, for example, one of my biggest goals is to build children's homes across the world. So I knew the only way to building children's homes across the world is to become a great doctor. And also, because I love family, it was just marriage and kids. That's it. So these other girls started saying, actually, I did not voice out my desires and my goals. I was listening to other people, because I love listening and I love hearing what other people have to say. So I remember this girl was like, you know what? Before I came here, I was in China. I'm like, you were in China before you came here? Yeah, I was in China, and then now I am here in Cuba, so I can speak. Hey, what's the name of Chinese language? Okay, Mandarin. Yeah, so I can speak Mandarin, and then now I'm adding Spanish to it. And my goal is to become, I don't know, some representation in the World Health or UNICEF. I was like, what? My bedmate was asked. I clearly remember her goal. My bedmate was asked, and she was like, first and foremost, I just want to thank God because I am here, and this was my dream school of medicine. I'm like, wow, you actually knew about this school before we came? And then she was like, my goal is to create or invent something and then win the Nobel Peace Prize. I was like, Jesus. You mean your goal is to win a Nobel Peace Prize? One of my roommates was like, she wants to specialize, I think maybe in oncology or something along that line, and become the greatest someone to cure cancer, to whatever. I'm like, what? You people have huge goals. My goal is just become a doctor, get married, have kids. That was it because doctors in my country, by the way, back then used to be paid so well. So I knew with that money I would be, more than comfortable. Guys, I remember that night when I was sleeping, I was like, if I was still in Kenya, would I have thought about all these things? And I asked myself that question, and I decided to realign my goals, and not even to realign. I decided to just think big, because the same effort you use to think small is the same effort you use to think big. So why not think big? And guys, I knew this is a journey that I'm going to learn, not just in terms of goals. That was just an example in terms of everything. When it comes to spirituality, when it comes to my emotions, when it comes to my relationships, and the best thing is that I came here when I was young, so I had time to still develop, but nonetheless, you've gotten this opportunity that is once in a life. Enjoy. If you're a partying person, go and party and enjoy. If you're a Christian or a religious person, go to church, spend your time, invest your time in the kingdom of God, learn how to pray, learn how to read the Bible, just be there in church, be present and enjoy. If you love traveling, make sure you travel. Let it not be said that you wasted time. The Bible says that there is time for everything. There is time for everything. So this is the one chance that God has given you to explore. So yes guys, we are finally at the end of our video, and in case I've forgotten any tips, be sure to comment in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a comment, be sure to leave any tip that I may have forgotten, guys, and also share this video. Can you imagine your grandmother is about to move in to a new country and she doesn't know any tips to surviving in that beautiful new country that she's going to? So don't do her a disservice by not sharing. So share this as many times as possible. And today I'm going to be leaving you guys with a joke that I really found funny, by the way. So a patient comes to the emergency room because this patient has lost 3 of his fingers on his right hand, and the patient asks the doctor, "Doc, will I still be able to write with my hand?" And the doctor says, "Maybe, but I wouldn't count on it." If it has passed you, it has passed you like that. So guys, until the next time on the next episode, kwaheri.
I'll be good. Promise me you'll be good to me.
I didn't want to come to
Promise you I'll be good.
that is funny.